The 2016 Midwinter High School Classic Championship matches coming to you from Castle Lanes in Racine. I'm Phil Brylow. Let's show you how these teams made their way into the respective championships today. On the girls' side, number one qualifiers Indian Trail will take on Oak Creek. Oak Creek with a big win over Racine Park. That team does their bowling here at Castle Lanes. And on the boys' side of the equation, number 9 Muskego, a couple of big victories in the bracket. We'll be taking on number 3 seed McGuanago, looking to improve on their second place finish from last year. Girls are finishing warming up. We'll be back with our girls' championship match in just a moment. Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com. We're at Castle Lanes, the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic Girls Championship match between Indian Trail and Oak Creek. This match is a 2-game total pin match. Each team will bowl 1 game on each lane of this pair, 21 and 22 here at Castle Lanes. Let's take a look at how these teams made their way to the championship match. Indian Trail, the top seed from qualifying, defeating Muskego 3-1. While Oak Creek defeated the home team here at Racine Park in 3 straight games to advance to this championship match. 2-game total pin match to decide this title, with Stephanie Followbeck stepping up. For Indian Trail to lead things off, we saw her and Ryan Wildenberg win the 2016 Wisconsin High School Mixed Doubles Championship, and with strikes like that from Followbeck, you can see why she led this team off most of the day and got them into this championship match. Haley Blaze, a junior from Oak Creek, leading things off in the number 1 spot. A little left target for Blaze. Can't quite get that 9-pin down. For those of you not familiar with the Baker format, these bowlers will bowl a 10-frame regulation game. 5 bowlers per team participate. The leadoff bowler would be in the 1st and 6th frames. The number 2 bowler would be the 2nd and 7th, and so on. Coaches do have the option to substitute at any time for any player. They do carry 7-person rosters here at the Midwinter High School Classic, as Blaze converts that 9-pin. However, once a player is substituted for, they cannot re-enter that game. They have to wait until the following game to enter, as Montana Tobin steps up for Indian Trail in the 2nd frame. We're looking to get a double for the team. Can't pull it off, and a bad break for Tobin, leaving the 4-9. That ball, even though it has kind of a spinner rotation to it, still picked up friction on the lane, drove through the pocket a little too aggressively, and left a 4-9. About a 30% chance of a bowler of Tobin's ability to pick that up. Just slides by that 4-pin in an early deficit. Indian Trail 14 pins down to Oak Creek, as Emily Baxter steps up for Oak Creek in the 2nd frame. Baxter, sophomore. And another crossover by the Oak Creek team. A case of the lefts early, as you see Coach Jeff Bluski in the background, along with Coach Don Rask consulting with Baxter where she shoots that spare. Other coach on this Oak Creek team, Craig Wroblewski. These 3 coaches handle the entire Oak Creek boys, girls, and JV programs. Baxter with the follow through, no problem covering up that 3-pin. And back-to-back spares for Oak Creek maintains an early 13-pin lead, with Devney Wynn, a senior, stepping up for Indian Trail. When Devney is not out on the lanes, she enjoys horseback riding. And she rides the 1-3 pocket into a strike on that shot. High fives with the teammates coming back for Wynn. Another bowler you saw in the Wisconsin High School Mixed Doubles Championships, bowling with a partner Brad Bouch from Oak Creek. Jamie Wall stepping up in Oak Creek's third frame. Just a bit left, a big break for Wall to leave just the 6-pin. Wall's been bowling for 6 years. She has a high game of 257. I want to thank her mom Heidi and dad Ken for all the help getting her to and from the lanes and picking up the occasional bowling ball as well. As Wall switches to the lower friction bowling ball to go cross lane on that 6-pin, no problem covering that up, and Oak Creek just keeps plugging away with marks early. As you see Wall return to the ball return, make sure that she clears that equipment off. Only room for about a dozen bowling balls on the ball return on the top part. So you'll see the players, as they use spare balls, go back to the rack and find another spot for their spare balls as needed, as Carly Dostal steps up. Carly and her twin sister Shay, both members of this Indian Trail team, and Carly Dostal with the high hard one put a double on the board for Indian Trail, knocked the lead of Oak Creek down to just 2 pins. She watched that ball drive through the pin deck. The strong roll that was created going through the pin deck by Dostal, key to that shot, as Samantha Richter steps up in the 4th frame for Oak Creek, the 5 steps to the line. You can see that ball picked up its revolutions a little bit earlier than other members of the Oak Creek team. Samantha, a little more ball speed, a few more revs, and a little more surface on her bowling ball than her teammates. Unfortunately, a little bit of a miss left where her teammates broke up splits before. Left the 7-pin opposite of the 3, 6, and 10. I'd give Richter about a 40% chance of converting this split. Makes the right move, goes to the left side of the lane, goes across lane, almost gets the 3-pin in order to slide over into the 7 and convert that spare. Just misses though, and the lead goes to Indian Trail by 14 pins, with Savannah Giroux stepping up. Savannah, the daughter of Coach David Giroux, senior. 4 steps to the line. We've seen that many times on TV for Giroux. Nice fluid arm swing, the ability to repeat shots, and 10 pins down in the pit. You get 3 in a row on the board for Indian Trail and extend their lead out to 24 pins. With Caitlin Mortarana stepping up to the number 5 spot for Oak Creek. Caitlin, a sophomore, high game of 256 on the board, and unfortunately for Oak Creek, the lefts seem to continue for them. All 5 players hitting left of the 3-pin on pocket shots, attempting to get the pocket shots. But only one open on the board so far. If Caitlin can make this spare, which she does. 5 frames in the book here from Castle Lanes and Racine. Game 1 of the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic will continue momentarily. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. Halfway through Game 1 here at Castle Lanes in Racine. 2-game total pin championship match between Indian Trail and Oak Creek for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic Girls Championship. I'm Phil Brilo here with you. Stephanie Fallebeck looking to keep the strike string going for Indian Trail. on 3 in a row, looking for 4, and can also extend the lead out over Oak Creek. And another great shot by Fallebeck. She's had a heck of a TV run this year with us, winning that 2016 Wisconsin High School Mixed Doubles Championship with Ryan Wildenberg, her Indian Trail teammate. Now, Haley Blaze from Oak Creek in the number 6 position. Once again, a little left of the head pin. This time it leaves the 3 pin. Haley just started bowling when she entered high school. Only been bowling for a little over 2 years. And the coaches at Oak Creek have done a good job with a beginning player like Blaze. Relatively straight game. Keep it simple to start with. The speed and revolutions will come. And that needs to hold on. And she just tickles down another spare again for Blaze. Keeps the team close. 36 pins the deficit between Oak Creek and Indian Trail. And we have Indian Trail's first substitute. They like playing with that 7-girl roster. Coach Dave Giroux does. Megan Jones stepping in for the 6th frame. Gets that ball to roll up strong, and unfortunately, a little too strong for Jones as the 10-pin stands with the 4. Watching that ball out of the pocket, I really thought it was just going to be 4-pin high, but the 6-pin runs a little interference on the 3-pin, preventing the 10 from being knocked down. Giving it a shot, gets the 1 pin. That'll take Indian Trail's lead down to 21 pins. I want to thank our friend Joe Serrar at bpsmilwaukee.com for everything he does with our shows here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. We'll get Joey back in the color commentating chair in the next show or two. Emily Baxter, light in the pocket, leaves a 2-4-5. Oak Creek still looking for their first strike. Emily, when she's not on the lanes, likes hanging out with the family. Wanted to thank her dad, Jeremy, for getting her interested in bowling early. She's been bowling since she's been 6 years old. She'll move a little farther to the right on the approach, play off the strike line for the 2-4-5. Unfortunately, she let that one out a little too far left. It doesn't get across the lane. And that's a problem you see sometimes with slower ball speeds. These high friction reactive resin bowling balls, with a slower ball speed, when they hit the dry, they instantly use up all their energy, and it doesn't have a chance to get back over the other side of the lane. As we see the second substitute by Coach David Giroux for Indian Trail, Shane Dostal, twin sister of Carly, who you'll see in the 9th frame. And Shay Dostal comes up high. Good break to leave just the 6 and the 10. And it's never easy, even with these 7-player rotations in use, such as Coach Dave Giroux and Indian Trail. It's a little hard sometimes to keep a rhythm, come off the bench, but also he believes it keeps his players more focused, more attentive to what the other players on the team are doing. And with all the experience these players are getting on the lanes, they're looking to defend their 2015 Girls Division I High School Bowling Championship in Wausau in March. Jamie Wall in number 3 position for Oak Creek, so she's bowling the 3rd and 8th frames and gets Oak Creek's first strike of the game. It might be a crossover, but that might be what it takes to loosen up the swings of this Oak Creek team. You see Jamie a little pumped up on the way back. Knows it was a bit of an errant shot, but you have to take those good breaks. You can't give those crossover strikes back. Sometimes it can help rally a team, get them more fired up on the lanes. Carly Dostal stepping up for Indian Trail, looking to get her team back striking. That 4-bagger between the 3rd and 6th frames of Indian Trail, the difference in this game right now. And once again, Carly Dostal, strong roll, even with a very straight line to the pocket. Ball rolls through the pocket strong, past the 9-pin. A good break for Dostal to have the head of that 2-pin trip out the 4. She knew she had a quality shot there. You see the teammates cheering her on in the background. But you got to make sure you take advantage of that break and not throw the single pin away. We've seen a lot of single pin spares missed in high school bowling. And unfortunately for Dostal, way left in that spare attempt. And that lead now for Indian Trail cut down 24 pins with that open. Oak Creek working on a strike. If Samantha Richter can step up and put a double on the board here in the 9th frame for Oak Creek, that would cut the Indian Trail lead down 14 pins. A little farther left than last time, but she didn't get around it as much as she did on that shot where she left the 3-6-7-10 in the 4th frame. That one a little cleaner off the hand, gets the 2-pin to come off the sideboard, just trip out the 4-pin. And now the lead cut to 14 pins for Indian Trail, with Savannah Giroux, the senior, stepping up here in the 10th frame. Solid shot, almost a pocket, 7-9 for Giroux, and back-to-back 9 pins for this Indian Trail team. So they might be a little bit happy to get off of lane 21 at the end of this game. Move over to lane 22 for game 2 of this 2-game total pin match. Indian Trail was the #1 seed in qualifying in this tournament. They did have lane choice, so there was something that Coach David Giroux saw for Indian Trail, that he wanted his team to finish game 2 on the right lane. 190 the maximum here if Giroux can put another one up in the 10th. Leaves the 4-9 this time. A 188 for Indian Trail. Oak Creek's maximum here, 196. They could take the lead. Caitlin Mortarana can strike out here in the 10th frame. Caitlin, only a sophomore, 256 high game. She's been bowling for 8 years, 15 years of age now. And once again, a little bit left, and that's going to worry Coach Don Rask from Oak Creek a little bit. Most of his players missing to the left, and he can see that lane 21 seems to be hooking more than lane 22. He'll have to talk to his players during the break between games. Get those adjustments made. They won't have a chance to come back and defeat Indian Trail in the second game of this match by enough pins to take the total pin match. If Mortarana can strike out here on her fill ball, keep Oak Creek within 14 pins, it's definitely going to be one heck of a second game to decide this girls division title here at the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. 4 steps to the line, a little farther right, gets the ball to walk up nicely, and that's the way you want to end a game. Oak Creek down by 14 pins to Indian Trail at the end of game 1. We'll be back with game 2 from Castle Lanes in Racine, the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic Girls Championship match.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Game 2 of this 2-game total pin match to decide the girls' championship for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. I'm Phil Brilo coming to you from Castle Lanes in Racine. Indian Trail will be bowling second this game with a 14-pin lead after game 1. Oak Creek now over to lane 21 with Haley Blaze, the junior, stepping up in the opening frame for Oak Creek. Little left to target once again. Can she get the break to roll the 5 out? Not this time. And unfortunately for Oak Creek, the case of the lefts continues. And sometimes it's just the nerves. First time under the TV lights for most of these young ladies from Oak Creek, for really everybody except Jamie Wall, and Jamie only one time under the lights before. She just simply throw off for a strike line for the spare. That's going to hook early and misses the 5-pin to the left, so not to start. Oak Creek needs to try to come back and win this match. Bit of a lineup change for Coach David Giroux in Indian Trail. Sticking with the 7 bowler rotation, but starting with Montana Tobin in the opening frame, where we saw Stephanie Fallebeck in the first frame, game 1. A nice shot there by Tobin to trip out the 4-pin. Fallebeck will be back in the 4th position this game. As you watch the replay, 2-pin goes to the sideboard, does the job on the 4. Gets a little confidence built for Indian Trail early. Emily Baxter, the sophomore for Oak Creek, looking to ooh, and that's just very tentative on the approach. And unfortunately with some of these bowlers, nerves come into play a little bit. You can see Coach Don Rask handing her the rosin bag, maybe a little extra moisture on the thumb. Took a little extra time on the shot. And let's be honest, first time under the TV lights, all these girls are nervous. There's going to be a little perspiration on the palm here and there. But it's no different right now for Oak Creek. They're working on an open frame. If Baxter can spare here, it's no different than if she left the ringing 10 on the first shot. Much better. You can see not as tentative on that second shot, and gets the 10 to go out for a big spare for Oak Creek. Really could have been a tide turner with another open frame early. But Baxter kept it together after the gutter ball. Picked up the spare. You can see a few smiles on that Oak Creek side now. So that might help loosen the swings up a little bit. Devney Wynn up for Indian Trail in the second frame. Kumsai almost gets a pin to come back across the deck to take the 6 out. And as you can see with her reaction on the way back, happy to have just the 6-pin on the deck for the spare. Wins high game 250, high series of 632. She's been bowling for 8 years now, since she was 9 years old, and a great cover by Wynn to keep that lead out to 25 pins for Indian Trail. Jamie Wall stepping up for Oak Creek. Want to thank all the coaches, always helpful for the Oak Creek program. Also want to thank a good friend of the show here, Dwight Albrecht, for always helping out with her equipment. And Dwight, next time you see Jamie, you got to help her keep that 4-9 out of play. Ball finishing nice and strong on the back end, and we saw the 9 pins and the 4-9s for Indian Trail. Game 1 on lane 21, and unfortunately for Oak Creek, at a very inopportune time for their team, Jamie Walt leaves a 4-9 as well. Gets the 1 pin for count. Dwight Albrecht, good friend of the show here. Work with him on the Spare Time Bowling Radio Show on Sunday mornings at Sports Radio 105.7 FM, The Fan, 9 a.m. every Sunday during the Pro Bowlers Association season. We'll be on all the way through mid-February, and I'm sure we'll be talking a little bit about this Midwinter High School Classic as well on the air with Dwight and Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. Shay Dostal stepping up in the 3rd frame. A big break as she missed that ball left to target. Got the crossover to take the 10-pin out last. Keep the lead out at 38 pins for Indian Trail. And now it's time for Oak Creek to start throwing a bunch of strikes of their own and get back in this match. Samantha Richter, high game of 287, high series 640. Gets it nicely on the lane and gets the 8-pin to fall late. Didn't seem like that was that bad of a shot. Was a little light in the pocket. We got the roll, got the 5-pin to get bounced back off the head pin into the 8 for the strike. Now here's a young lady who's carried this Indian Trail team most of the day, bowled leadoff most of the day. Now she's in the number 4 position to get that anchor bowler set up in the 9th frame. If it gets to that point, Stephanie Fallebeck, a strong roll on that ball, slices through the pin deck for a big double and a 48-pin lead for Indian Trail with only 6 frames remaining. Really is going to put the pressure on Oak Creek to start taking these strikes and putting them in the strings, with Caitlin Mortarana stepping up in the 5th frame. Little left to target, comes up high, and no break on the 6, 7, and 10. And unfortunately here, without a big conversion for Oak Creek, this match may pretty much be done with 5 frames to go. An open frame here will put them almost 60 pins down. And that ball bounced out of the gutter, does not count for any pinfall. And right now, with no count on that spare, 64 pins the lead for Indian Trail, with Savannah Giroux stepping up, working on a double. Last words of advice from her coach and her dad, David Giroux. Savannah still undecided on what college she'll be attending. Knows she's received a few offers to bowl collegiately. I'm sure we'll find that out shortly, since she just turned 18 years of age. She'll be making that announcement on where she's attending college soon. Savannah's high series 813, I believe that is her second 800 series as a youth bowler. And she moves cross lane on the spare, switches to the polyester ball. Keeps things clean for Indian Trail through 5 frames. We'll be back with the rest of this championship match from Castle Lanes momentarily. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. Indian Trail with a 62-pin lead with 5 frames remaining in this 2-game total pin championship match. I'm Phil Brillo with you here from Castle Lanes and Racine for this girls championship for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. Haley Blaze stepping up for Oak Creek in the 6th frame. Gets that ball a little left once again. Almost gets the 10 pin out on the crossover. But for Blaze, going to be a spare attempt as you watch the replay. 6 almost gets over to the 10. She'll move cross lane to the spare with a polyester bowling ball. Take the hook out of play, and a great cover there by Blaze for her last shot of the day. Once again, Coach David Giroux going with the 6 bowler lineup. Megan Jones stepping up here in Indian Trail's 6th frame. Little left target, holds pocket, however, and gets all 10 pins down. A great shot after being on the bench for the first half of this game for Jones. Keeps that lead out to 62 pins for Indian Trail. Now Emily Baxter stepping up for Oak Creek. Baxter only been bowling for 6 years. Much better shot than we saw in the first shot in the 2nd frame, and a big break after going through the nose to carry out the 7 and 10. And put a strike on the board for Oak Creek. No die in this team with Oak Creek. They know they're down by a bunch. Match almost mathematically over, but still giving up there and giving 100% on every shot. As the number 7 player for Indian Trail, Carly Dostal, steps up. Carly wanted to thank her mom, Carrie, and dad, Mike, for all their support with their bowling. 4-pin stands after a slightly flush pocket shot. Carly, like her sister Shay, loves to play softball when the weather's a little warmer here in Wisconsin. And Dostal, we saw her miss a spare to the left in the first game. This is another spare left here. Sometimes with those backswings that are very slight, bowlers have a tendency to muscle it through in order to keep speed on the ball. And when you try to over-muscle a shot, it's easy to pull it left. Jamie Wall stepping up in 8th frame for Oak Creek. Looking to catch a break going through the nose. Gets a break and only leaves the 6-pin. Both these teams, I'm sure we'll see them at the Wisconsin State High School Bowling Tournament the first weekend of March up in Wausau. Indian Trail will be looking to defend their Division I girls high school title. Nice cover there by Wall. Oak Creek's maximum score this game, 180. Indian Trail, even with opens the rest of the way out, will still be in the 170s, so they will easily take home this match, take home the championship plaque and medals for all their team members as Shay Dostal steps up in the 8th frame. Like the way that Shay opens and closes her shoulders, gets that ball flush in the pocket, all 10 pins down. And Indian Trail is going to be a force to reckon with, no doubt, at the state tournament. The team that we saw win the Midwinter High School Classic last year, New Berlin Eisenhower, I think will be their biggest threat, along with Sun Prairie. They've pretty much been the big 3 women's bowling powers for high school bowling in the state of Wisconsin the last couple of seasons. Samantha Richter comes up a bit high once again. Something tells me during Oak Creek's next practice they're going to work on staying fluid with the swing and making the adjustments to not go high in the pocket or through the nose on many shots. But with a relatively young team for Oak Creek, core of this team will be together for next season. I think we could have a good chance of seeing Oak Creek not only make some noise at the state high school tournament this year, but next season in District Well in the Milwaukee Waukesha area as well. Fallback looking to go 4 for 4 on strikes here on TV today. Her high game 290, high series 699, and with shots like that, I am surprised the college hasn't scooped her up yet. I haven't heard of any college plans for Fallback. But if you can get a smooth rolling lefty out on the lanes and take advantage of some of those tougher lane patterns in collegiate bowling, I could see Miss Fallback getting a scholarship a little collegiately somewhere. We have a substitute coming in. Finish off the game since the match is no longer in doubt. Anna Ninow stepping in for Oak Creek. Ninow, her first year of bowling. She's a sophomore. Just started bowling with the Oak Creek High School team this year. Want to thank all our coaches for all their help. Another player we didn't see today for Oak Creek. Want to make sure we mention her as well. Sarah Studer, a junior at Oak Creek, thanking the coaches as well. So, high school bowling keeps going strong in the state of Wisconsin. And Nino just misses the 10-pin. That's going to put a 147 game on the board for Oak Creek. 2-game total of 321 as the handshakes between the coaches go in the books. And Don Rask, Jeff Wroblewski start talking to their team. Savannah Giroux looking to finish out strong for Indian Trail through the nose, leaving just the 610. And one heck of a match we have coming up for you next in our boys championship between McGuanago and Muskego. Muskego making their first appearance in a Midwinter High School Classic telecast. The number 10 seeds coming out of the boys' side today. While McGuanago was the number 3 seed. McGuanago finishing second last year in the boys' division. Looking to change that up this year. A little smile from Drew as she finishes things up for her team. Little left to target again, through the nose. And 390 the total after a fine 202 second game for Indian Trail against Oak Creek's 321. Girls Championship decided. Boys Championship coming up here from Castle Lanes and Racine for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com. In the Girls' Championship, Indian Trail took control early in Game 1, striking in the 3rd through 6th frames and never looking back, taking home a 390 to 321 victory over Oak Creek. Time for the boys' championship between Muskego and McGuanago. The boys are taking the lanes to practice. We'll be back with that boys' championship match from Castle Lanes shortly.
Welcome IAB members. This is Bowlers Pro Shop and I'm Joe Serrar, and today we're going to talk about things you need to tell your Pro Shop operator when entering his or her establishment and you're looking for a new ball. One of the first things I think you got to let them know is what weight you currently use if you have your own ball, and if you're comfortable with that weight, because that's one of the most important factors. Too light of a ball and you're going to muscle it and overthrow it. Too heavy of a ball and you're going to labor through the release zone and not put your best release into the ball. So the weight is very important. Secondly, you need to let your Pro Shop operator know if you throw a straight ball or if you throw some type of hooking action. There's many ball choices on the market today, from hard plastic and urethanes, which have minimal hook, to entry-level resins, to mid-range resins that offer more hook due to the core design. So you need to let your Pro Shop operator know, again, if you're comfortable throwing straight or hooking the ball. Nextly, you want to let them know how often you bowl. If you're a once-a-month player, once-a-year player, or say 2 or 3 times a week, they need to know the frequency of play, basically what your current average is. Also, what your lane play ability is. Do you have a defined zone that you like to play only and you feel uncomfortable moving outside that range? And again, this is something that plays into the layout choice that the Pro Shop operator may give you. If I know someone can only stand on the big dot and throw a second arrow, I'm not going to do too exotic of a layout where the pin is located up here, which can cause the ball to react too strong on the end and it's hard to control. We may then choose a pin below the fingers, make it more controllable, more easy to read. And again, these are all things that are helpful to me for me to do my best job to help you. You can also let the Pro Shop operator know what your current ball is. And say you're using a Storm Lucid and you're looking for a ball that has a little less hook and a little more length, then they can offer the appropriate ball to complement your current ball choice. There's so many things you need to let them know, and then when the fitting process begins, it's just like when you go into an eyeglass store, you have to let the optometrist know if you see this letter more clear than another. You need to let the Pro Shop operator know, oh, this hurts, or I feel pressure here. And you also need to let your Pro Shop operator know what grip choice you prefer, if you know the differences between conventional grip, where the fingers go fully inserted, semi-fingertip, or fingertip. You need to let them know what you're comfortable using, or possibly what you want to try in the future. Last thing we tend to talk about is price range. Do you feel comfortable at an entry-level price range, which will generally be $120 and below, more mid-priced, $120 to $170, or are you willing to go into the upper echelon of ball products, providing it's the right ball choice for you. So these are all things you need to think about prior to going into your pro shop. You don't really want to choose a ball just by name or by color. You want to get the right product that matches up for your game, so it allows you to play where you're comfortable playing and matches up to the intended lane condition that you're on. I hope this helps, and if you have any other questions, just hop on the Circle website, and I'll be more than willing to help answer them, as will Bill Spigner.
One title here at the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic already in the books. In the girls division, Indian Trail takes home that title over Oak Creek. And now for our boys championship match. Also 2 games, total pins. Mukwonago, our second place finishers last year against Muskego. Muskego making their first appearance on a Midwinter Classic telecast. Brandon Lauber starting things off for Mukwonago, a freshman. And gets all 10 back. A great start for his Mukwonago team. Both these teams swept their opponents in the semi-final round to advance to the championship match. Jackson Nimps from Muskego bowling in the leadoff position. Both these teams like to stay with the same 5 bowlers from game to game. Unless the bowler's really struggling. Don't think we'll see a sub during this 2-game total pin match unless the bowler really struggles early out of the gate. As Nimps leaves a 10 pin. A little deflection going through the pocket. Moves cross lane on the spare with the polyester ball. Does not give it enough room to the right, however. And an open frame from Muskego. In frame number 1. Both these teams very familiar with each other from District 1 competition for the Milwaukee and Waukesha area for high school bowling. Ryan Kreider just comes up a bit light in the pocket, leaves a 10 pin. Mukwonago and Muskego in the same division in District 1 bowling. The teams that are in southwestern and southern Waukesha County. Mukwonago leading by 1 match this far in the standings with only a couple of weeks to go in District 1 competition, and Kreider misses the 10 pin to get Muskego back into the match early. As Ben Kubaszewski, senior, steps up for Muskego. Ben's high game, 279. Just started bowling a couple of years ago, and you see another 2-handed player get the speed, get the revs, get 10 in the pit for Kubaszewski. Put a strike on the board for Muskego. Oh, a bowler that can get 2-handed power and 2-handed revolutions with just 1 hand. We've seen Matt Hibbard quite a few times on TV. Saw him in the high school mixed doubles championship. And that's what speed and power can do for you. A shot that would normally leave that weak 10 pin, he gets the 6 to rattle around in the flat gutter, come out, take the 10 pin out, and get that strike on the 3rd effort by the 6 pin. Tyler Sweeney, son of Coach John Sweeney, number 3 spot for Muskego today. Great shot by Tyler. Rings up that 10 pin on a solid pocket hit. Watch that ball, just a smidge of deflection to send the 6 around the 10. John Sweeney, the assistant coach for this Muskego High School team. Head coach Rod Schroeder is off on another mission today. while this competition's occurring. Nice spare there by Sweeney to cover it up. Young man, we've seen him once on TV before during our Summer Youth Challenge Series show. Ricky Brose Jr. saw him from the show at McWanago's home lanes, Jay's Lanes in McWanago. Ricky is senior, high game of 289. He's got 5 of those under his belt. One would think the perfect game would be around the corner somewhere for him. Unfortunately for Brost, through the nose, no chance of breaking up the 6, 7, and 10. As you see, team captain Billy Hibbard, number 5 bowler from McWanago, hand Brost his spare ball. Many of these players using those interchangeable thumbs to get the same feel from ball to ball. Brost moves to the left side of the approach. He's going to go cross lane at it. Make sure you get the 2. And how about that for a great spare shot by Ricky Brose Jr. You talk something that can change momentum for a team. That can definitely do it right there. Watch that ball just gets to the right side of the 6 pin, sends it over into the 7. And that's going to get that McWanago team fired up a bit. Zach Neal, Jr. from Muskego, needs to answer with a mark of his own here. And you can just see Neal not comfortable all the way through the approach on that shot. Looked a little bit quick into the push away. Ball gets to the foul line before the bowler's comfortable with his slide. Pulls it left through the nose, and a 4-7-10 left for Zach Neal. Be pretty neat though to have back-to-back big split conversions on our show here today. Neal going cross lane, just gets the 2. Make sure you don't lose any count. Because this is a 2-game total pin match, you don't want to leave any pins out on the lane where the match may be decided by a pin or 2 by the time he gets to the completion of the second game. Billy Herbert, captain of the McWanago team, stepping up. Senior playing that deep inside line, and ball did not finish very strong. You saw the 5-7 stay for a moment. Head pin came off the sideboard, took the 5 pin out, so he might be looking to square up that line, move his feet back a little bit to the right, and maybe keep the speed firm, or even a little more speed. Keep that ball flush in the pocket. Billy, we've seen plenty of times on TV. Solid spare game. Shouldn't leave any pins on the lane, which he does with that conversion. Keep McWanago in the lead by 12 pins in this high 5 gear 5th frame. Remember, get those custom jerseys of your style and choosing at high5gear.com. They always have some great specials going on their website. Make sure you check that out. Ben Schroeder steps up, junior from Muskego, 16 years of age. 3 279 games under his belt. And unfortunately for Ben right there, just left all the way. Follow through, bent elbow very early. That's going to force that ball left through the nose. Leaves just the 6 pin, should have no problem picking it up. You see switching the thumb out. There's a couple of versions of those on the market. Vice Grips has their IT system, the interchangeable thumb. Turbo has their switch grip thumb system. Both do well for bowlers of any average level. Good conversion there by Schroeder as we get into our commercial break for this first game. Boys Championship match, 2016 Midwinter High School Classic, back from Castle Lanes momentarily. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. McWanago, thanks to that great 6-7-10 conversion by Ricky Brose Jr. That's the difference in this match. Currently 12 pins the lead for McWanago in game 1 of this 2-game total pin match, with Brandon Lauber, the freshman, stepping up way left to start with. And that's a lot of 9 right there, as it's been said by bowlers in the past. You make a pretty much bad shot, no other way to put it. catch a lucky break. Watch that head pin slide over. 2-pin does a lot of damage on the right side of the rack. And lucky to leave just the 3-pin for Lauber's conversion. Lauber's high game 259. He's been bowling since the age of 8. So he's been bowling for 6 years now. Loves watching and playing baseball when the weather's warm enough here in Wisconsin. As McGuanago stays clean on the score sheet through their first 6 frames. 11 pins the lead over Muskego as Jackson Nimps gets ready to step up. Jackson, a freshman as well. 15 years of age, been bowling since age 6. High game of 242 and a high set of 662. So Nimps starting to bowl with some consistency as he gets into the high school program. And you can see the little bit of a fall off to the right by Jackson Nimps on that shot. Just enough to force the ball slightly left. And when it gets to the pocket, drives a little too thoroughly through. 2-pin goes around the 4-pin. Leave that standing. Nimps stays with the strike ball. He'll just move a little farther to the right. Give it a little hook across the lane. Perfectly done. Keeps Muskego down by 12 pins with Ryan Kreider, senior, stepping up from McGuanago in the 7th frame. Don't have any information. Don't believe either coach is going to have a substitute this game. Kreider, great shot. Scatter the pins and put up a strike from McGuanago in frame number 7. 2-hander Ben Kubaszewski stepping up. Gets that ball a little farther on the lane, and you can see he got a big break there compared to his shot in the 2nd frame. Got it out to the right, a little earlier friction on this modified house pattern. The ball goes all the way over to the 1-2 pocket. Kubaszewski manages to carry that strike. Junior Matt Hibbard stepping up, looking for a double to extend McGuanago's lead, and that time the 6-pin does not do the job on the 10 as it did in frame 3 for Hibbard. Hibbard, 1 300 game under his belt, high series of 814. And to this date, he is our youngest tournament winner ever for a singles tournament on television when he won the 2014 Lakeshore Invitational up in Sheboygan. Going back to Sheboygan this year for the Sean Yona Memorial events, both the youth event and the adult event. You'll see those finals here on Time Warner Cable SportsChannel in April. And Hibbard, with the rare miss of the 10-pin, brings this game and match back to even. Remember, 2 games total pins. The teams will switch lanes after this first game. Tyler Sweeney, the number 3 bowler from Muskego, leaves another 10-pin. That's 2 of those for Sweeney. The first one, ring 10. Second one here, a little bit weak. Watch that 6-pin just go into the flat gutter. Lots of deflection on that bowling ball. Ball needed to be about another 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch closer to the pocket. Carry that 10-pin out. And that's just a dead pull left. And we are seeing way too many single pin misses out of these bowlers, especially teams of this caliber. That is 3 10-pins missed. Pardon me, 4 10-pins missed in the first 8 frames between the 2 teams. So if one team would have had both their 10-pins converted, they would have at least a 22-pin lead at this point in the match. Ricky Brose Jr. trying to bring it back after that great 6-7-10 conversion in frame 4. Big strike in the foundation frame. McGuanago's maximum score this game now 194. Muskego's maximum score 182. If Zach Neal can put up a strike for Muskego in frame number 9. Neal looking to come back off of an open frame in frame number 4. A lot cleaner out of the hand. There's 10 back for Neal. Much better timing overall, and that's one thing a lot of players can work on even when they're not at home. or even when they're not in the lanes, they can work on it at home. You can practice your rhythm and your timing, work it through. Eileen's Bowling Buddies are great training aids for working on rhythm and timing. Great sponsor of this Midwinter High School Classic event for the second year in a row. And Billy Hibbert made the move right, firmed up the speed, and unfortunately for him, it looked like the head pin prevented damage being done to the 7 pin. Let's check it out on the replay. Watch the head pin off the sideboard, and it knocks the 5 pin back to the right when it was trying to take the 7 pin out. So that's going to leave a maximum score now of 174 for McGuanago. And Muskego could take a 12-pin lead going into game 2 of this match if Ben Schroeder can strike out in the 10th frame from Muskego. Still a fill ball out here for Billy Hibbert. See if he makes another move off of that 7-pin shot. No, pretty much the same, stays firm with it. And that time the head pin doesn't block the 5. And a little self-high five for Billy Hibbert, and high fives from the rest of his team there. So 174 for McGuanago in the books. Now it's up to Ben Schroeder to try to get his Muskego team in the lead after this first game. And if you don't think equipment and matching up and knowing your equipment isn't an important part of the sport nowadays, just look at all the bowling balls on the benches here at Castle Lanes for these two teams. Schroeder a little cleaner off the hand than his first attempt. Still goes through the nose. Leaves the 6-10. He'll grab that polyester spare ball to try to convert. Schroeder, he's been on TV before, 2012 in our mixed doubles event. He finished in second place with Sammy Gregor in that event when he was a freshman. Good conversion by Schroeder on the 6-10. Strike here gives McGuanago 182 and keeps them within 12 pins of Muskego getting into this 2-game total pin match. Bowlers will get a little time between games to talk to their coaches as they switch lanes. Schroeder's not in the lanes. Loves to go snowmobiling and fishing. Well, if he likes ice fishing, the weather's been cold enough recently. Put some ice on the lakes. Gets 9 on the fill shot. 161 for Muskego. Puts Muskego down by 13 pins to McGuanago. We'll be back to Castle Lanes for game 2 of this 2-game total pin boys championship match after this short break. Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com. Game 1 of the boys championship match in the books here at the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. McGuanago with the 13-pin lead as the teams switch lanes. I'm Phil Brylow with you here at Castle Lanes in Racine once again. Phil and Patty Onko and their staff here did a wonderful job for us hosting another great tournament. If you have anything you need bowling related in Racine hosting, whether it's a tournament, a fun outing, looking to join a league, give them a call here at Castle Lanes, 262-633-1199, and they will get you set up as Jackson Nintz sets up a strike for Muskego in the first frame. 2 games, total pins here. If there happens to be a tie, coaches from each team would pick 3 bowlers to bowl an 8th, 9th, and 10th frame roll-off to break that tie. It's Brandon Lauber, the freshman for McGuanago, steps up. Over the top of that shot, lucky that it holds to the 1-2 pocket. And a good break on the crossover early, and you can see a few smiles of relief on McGuanago's faces as Ben Kubaziewski wastes no time for Muskego. leaves a 4-pin, his first non-strike in 3 attempts for Kubaszewski. Watch the replay of that shot. Most of these bowlers, all we've seen when they're hitting a little high in the pocket is the 4-pin or the 10-pin. Haven't seen 4 10s like we saw in the girls' match between Indian Trail and Oak Creek, as Kubaszewski covers up that 4-pin with Ryan Kreider stepping up, the senior from McGuanago. Looking to keep that lead from McGuanago left out of his hand, and a big break to take out the 10-pin. Breaking up the baby split, leaving just the 3. He'll go back and he'll switch to a polyester spare ball most likely. Almost got a big break with that pin coming back all the way up to take the 3-pin out. But now it's make this single pin keep the lead for your team. And that's going to need some help getting up, and that's where the polyester ball, when it hits oil, that excessive skid. He was trying to play it one, hit the right side of the pin, missed it to the right. And now only a 1-pin lead for McGuanago, with Tyler Sweeney stepping up from Muskego. Sweeney looking to get riddle of the 10-pin solved. Gets the 10-pin out this time around after leaving 2 in the first game. Leaves the 7-pin this time. We saw a couple of light 7-pins for Billy Hibbard last game on lane 21. This time the 5 goes just in front of the 7. Sweeney will hook it across lane. Let the ball ease on over. No problem covering up the spare. And McGuanago with a slight 2-pin lead going into their half of the 3rd frame of game 2. Matt Hibbard stepping up, a strike and a 10-pin with an open frame, his first 2 attempts in game 1 of this match. Revs it up, sits up pretty, and that head pin, only 1 hop on the pin deck, and coming back from left to right. That's a pretty impressive strike there by Matt Hibbard. It's fun watching these kids with power in high school. When they get to college and they get some even more quality coaching that helps them refine their power, gain some accuracy as well, as Zach Neal steps up, and that's the case where Neal, a little quick with the shot, ball's in the oil, doesn't have the strong rotation on it, and the ball simply deflects away and hits the 1-3 pocket past the 5. Should have no problem, just throw your strike shot again. You have about 22 inches of room to make a 5-pin on the pin deck. 9 inches for the bowling ball on either side of it, and the 4-inch middle diameter of the pin. For that 22 inches, and a nice cover by Neal. Keep his team close. 3 pins down, Ricky Brost Jr. stepping up. Great 6-7-10 conversion the first game of this match, and a strike for his first 2 attempts. Looking to put a double on the board for McGuanago, that lead back out to the 13 pins they came in with for this game after 4 frames. Watch that ball 6-pin into the 10 before it even gets to the sideboard. Ben Schroeder stepping up, looking to get Muskego's 2nd strike of the game. Only strike so far, the opening shot by Jackson Nymps, and that ball just does not come up on lane 21. It's surprising because we've seen lane 21 hooking a little bit more than 22 all day. Muskego trying to play a little tighter inside line, make sure they don't go high in the pocket. But unfortunately for them, ball skates a little wide, and this is no easy spare with that sleeper 8-pin behind the 2, plus getting something over the top to carry the 4-pin as well. Schroeder's going to hook at it. Gets that ball walking in nicely. Textbook conversion by Ben Schroeder to keep his team down by 16 pins, but Billy Hibbert has a chance to step up here from McGuanago. Extend that lead to 26 before we get to the commercial break for this game.
Come on, Bill.
Nice out of the hand, and the 6-pin does not do the job on 10. A little weak in the pocket, and I'm sure Billy either got that ball to face up a little bit earlier, just start that hook and roll phase, maybe 6 inches sooner on the lane, get that ball to roll stronger. He would have had better chance to kick that 10-pin out. Switches to the polyester bowling ball. Left to right on the lane. Jess gets that 10-pin down, and we'll get to our commercial break. Back with the rest of this championship match, determine our winner here from Castle Lanes and Racine after this break.
Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mountain Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
Phil Brylow back here at Castle Lanes in Racine. A very tight boys championship match here for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. Less than 2 marks the difference between Muskego and McGuanago. Muskego, Jackson Nimps stepping up, and he gets his second strike of the game in the 6th frame to Muskego and gives them a glimmer of hope here, down by 18 pins with 4.5 frames remaining. Brandon Lauber gets ready to step up. Impressive freshman so far today. He's kept the ball near the pocket, made the spares he's left. That's what you're looking for out of a leadoff bowler. Make sure that first frame gets filled. And he got that one out to the dry early. Another good break for McGuanago, breaking up a baby split. However, we saw that with Ryan Kreider earlier in the 2nd frame for McGuanago. Missed the 3-pin that was left. As we always know, sometimes with corner pins on the deck, swings get a little tighter, the grips get a little firmer, and they're trying to get the bowling ball off their hand. Nice and relaxed, no problem there for Brandon Lauber. Keep his team up by 14 pins in this match. Ben Kubazuski left the 4-pin last time up. Gets it a little more in the oil this time. Gets that ball to carry down the lane a little farther. And another 2-handed strike. Kubazuski. And that double cuts the lead of Muskego, league of McGuanago's down 4-pin. With Ryan Kreider stepping up, he can redeem himself from the open frame in the 2nd. Comes high. Gets himself a break to leave just the 6-pin. He switches once again to that polyester spare ball. Sure, this time he will not give it as much room right as he did in the 2nd frame. Actually, if he shoots the same ball he did in the 2nd frame, he'll be all over that 6-pin. Carvers it up nicely. But that knocks McGuanago's lead down to 3 pins. I want to thank the Wagner family at Trophy Athletic. Our champions today will receive a championship plaque and medals courtesy of Trophy Athletic on Old World 3rd Street in Milwaukee. Tyler Sweeney finally gets that corner pin to fall, gets a strike, a big double from Muskego. Actually 3 in a row for Muskego to take the lead for the first time in the match. Matt Hibbard going to keep McGuanago close. That's the high hard one, and he caught a bit of a break on that one. He gave it a little extra. The hips are open a little too far, but he manages to cave the 8 and the 10 down to keep McGuanago within 7 pins. Zach Neal stepping up, looking to get 4 in a row for his team. We get the lead out to 17 pins for Muskego in the match. Dead flush 10 back. Can't throw it any better. And how about this run late by Muskego to put the pressure on McGuanago to answer?
That's okay.
Muskego up by 17, but a double here by Ricky Brose Jr. to take that lead back down the 7 pins, and it will be all up to those anchor bowlers to come through for their teams. Good shot out of the hand by Brose, but the 6 pin does not
Go down.
do the job on the 10. Ricky wanted to thank his parents, Cindy and Rick, for all the help they've given with his bowling, and I'm sure his parents would like to help that 6 pin knock down the 10 on that shot. You can see, look in his eyes, he knew he made a quality shot, just couldn't quite get the 6 down, teammates' reactions. But now you have to get yourself together and make this spare to have any hope of winning this match. You can see he's a little upset with himself right now, but you got to let that go. Focus on the task at hand. Make that 10 pin. It's a little left out of his hand and it hooks away, and that is practically match over for McGuanago. Muskego takes a 29 pin lead on the bench on that missed 10 pin, and now it's just basically 6 pins on the first ball for Ben Schroeder. And Muskego will take home their first ever Midwinter Classic title. Schroeder wanted to thank his mom, Chris, dad, Rod, and grandma and grandpa, Jim and Kathy, for all the help with his bowling over the years. Can't be too upset. Bad break a little bit on that shot, leaving the light 7 pin, but that is enough for Muskego to wrap up the 2016 Midwinter High School Boys Championship. And as we've seen it before many times, the winners coming out of this Midwinter Classic seem to catch fire and seem to do very well at the high school state tournament in March. So people keep your eyes open on Muskego. It could be one of the surprise teams at the high school state tournament when it takes place. Let's see if we're going to get a substitute here for Muskego on the last ball. Nope, they're going to let Schroeder finish things out. 224 maximum with a full ride on the fill ball here for Schroeder. And what a great finish by Muskego. Kept it clean the first 5 frames. Put together 4 in a row, frames 6 through 9. And passed up McGuanago for this Midwinter High School Classic title. 223. The finish for Muskego, 384, their 2-game total after the 161 start. As Billy Hibbert finishes things off for his team. Another corner pin for Billy. No, he's not too happy with the situation. This whole McGuanago team, 2nd year in a row, finishing in 2nd place. With this being Billy's senior year, Ricky Brose senior year, and Ryan Kreider's senior year, you know these players are really wanting to take this title home in their last year of high school competition. And it looks like Coach Ralph Hibbert from McGuanago is going to put in a sub. There's only sub on the bench right now. Jake Kulikowski. Give him a chance to throw one under the TV lights. Always good to get a little bit of experience. Everyone always has butterflies the first time under these lights, and it's good experience for any young player. Jake being a sophomore. That's going to hook over, gets away from the head pin. That gives McGuanago a 181 game 2, 355 total. Muskego, your boys winners for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic. And I'll be back to wrap up this show after this short break. Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973.
Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
In the boys' championship for the 2016 Midwinter High School Classic, McGuanago led after Game 1 by 14 pins, but Muskego stayed patient early in Game 2, put together 4 strikes in a row from frames 6 through 9, and Muskego is taking home that boys' championship title. Our next show on Time Warner Cable SportsChannel, the 2016 Classic Greenfield Mixed Doubles, where Eric Fritton and Samantha Kelly try to defend their title against 36 of the best mixed doubles teams from Wisconsin and Illinois. I'm Phil Brilo. Parents, take the kids bowling because they'll have fun for life, and we'll see you on that next show from Classic Lanes in Greenfield.